I actually had this video made already, but I wasn't happy with the way it turned out, so I planned on doing it again, and then I got caught. I'm actually still recovering right now, but I think I'm able to give my opinions clear enough, and hopefully this video turns out good. So, Sonic Frontiers just came out, and while I did a review for it on GPX Japan, I thought I'd do something else for this channel, and to be honest guys, the watch time is down. So, I'm pulling out the trump card. This is it, the tier list. Alright, jokes aside, I thought it'd be fun to give my opinions on each game, just to sort of see how they all stack up with each other. I kind of thought about this one a lot. The previous take that I did for this video, I didn't really like how it turned out, so I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and yeah, I'm ready to give my opinion on each. Well, at least most of them anyways. 3D Sonic, because you really just can't compare 2D Sonic and 3D Sonic, it just doesn't work, so I'm only comparing the 3D games. Alright, so I do have to preface this actually and say that for Sonic and the Black Knight in particular, I didn't actually play the whole thing, and when I did play, I played it years ago, so it's going to remain unranked. How's that? Okay. There we go. Didn't play tier. Alright, so anyways, let's get started. The first game here, we got Sonic Generations, and this might not surprise people. It's going to go on A tier. Why is Sonic Generations an A tier for me? Well, you got both gameplay styles, 3D, sort of that hybrid 2D, 3D gameplay, and the straight 2D gameplay. At the time, it was really cool for them to bring back classic Sonic into a game. He was in full 3D now, at least model-wise, and it looked really awesome. I remember seeing that for the first time and thinking, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And this is before Sega got gung-ho with nostalgia and started to put Green Hill in literally everything. It was really nice to see it here. It looked beautiful. Classic Sonic played well. Overall, just a really solid game. The only reason I don't have it in S tier, to be honest, is because it's just too short in my opinion. You have more or less 9 stages, and these cover the classic era, the sort of Dreamcast era, and then the modern era. But I don't know, even with the missions and the extra boss battles that you get, it just, I don't know. I think they could have done more. I think at least 5 stages per generation would have been perfect. And some DLC too, which there was really nothing except a Casino Night pinball machine. So because of that, it's going to be at A tier, but I mean, hey, what a place to be, right? It's a really good game. Alright, so this one, okay. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with this guy, you might be thinking. Hear me out. I actually really loved Sonic Lost World. The first time I played it was actually to do my Sonic reviews for the 30th anniversary last year, and I was really surprised at how well Sonic moved. I couldn't believe the controls, like they felt it felt like perfect almost. The parkour was a little bit hard to get used to, I'm gonna admit that, but once you get the hang of it, you're gonna be running and jumping between walls and things. It's awesome. Soundtrack is amazing, levels are good. It's a really solid title. I really don't think there's anything wrong with it, at least in terms of major flaws. However, I do think that it feels like a bit cheap, if that makes sense. Now, I mean, this isn't anything to do with the gameplay, but when you watch the cutscenes, there's lots of cutscenes where Eggman and the crew, they're just like in this black area, there's just no background or whatever. It feels like the budget was just totally slashed for everything that wasn't gameplay. Then on top of that, story-wise, there's this kind of weird tone. The game is cheerful, the environments are really nice and everything, but there are some serious moments, like with Tails and whatnot, and I remember thinking it just kind of clashed. It felt so strange. It was kind of a serious thing, Sonic's like really sad, Tails gets captured. I don't know, it feels like really out of place, just suddenly gets dark. I don't know. The story's a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the characters themselves are fine, but just tonally, it's very strange. That said, though, I had a lot of fun with it. For me, gameplay-wise, it's A tier, for sure. I mean, it's not high A tier. I would probably put it at the bottom of A. It's still up there, in my opinion. Sonic Forces E. I don't really want to kick a dead horse with this one, but it's just not fun. It's just not fun. I wasn't a fan of the Avatar gameplay that much. I mean, classic Sonic just felt weird this time. I don't know what it was. He feels different than Generations, and it just did not feel good. Modern Sonic, again, same thing. Something just doesn't feel right about it. It is the boost gameplay that you know and love and all that, but I don't know, it's just not that good. and it's just not that good. If I had to say something positive about it, I did like some of the zone ideas that they had, like with the casino sort of thing in the woods and stuff. But I mean, besides that, it's just recycled. Everything's recycled. Like, it shows Green Hill again. Oh, it gets sandy halfway through. Wow, like we haven't seen that before. Again, there's just really nothing fresh here. There's nothing new, and on top of that, the gameplay just feels worse. I just don't like it. It's an E. It's between an E and a D, probably, but I think E is more fitting. Okay, alright, so this next one might make people angry, but alright, Sonic Heroes is B for me. I know. This game it's got a lot of fans. It is a really good game. It's solid, and I do like it, especially because it is similar to that older adventure-style gameplay. But I don't know. The last time I played it, there was too much. There's just too much jank with the gameplay that it just wasn't that fun for me. I mean, the Sonic and Team Dark stories are really, really fun. The Amy stories, Team Rose, and Team Chaotix are okay. Team Chaotix is a lot of fun at first because you do all these unique missions, and it's pretty cool, but then it just essentially turns into everyone else's story towards the end. Again, Team Dark and Team Sonic are really good, but this game introduces a lot of things I don't like, primarily the sort of auto-grinding, and how could I forget the long levels? These levels get so long in this game, it's ridiculous. And if you want to get a good grade, you have to make sure you stay alive, because if you die at 7 minutes, your score is gone, you have to restart. It drives me nuts. And there were just so many times where I'm switching between partners, I'd fall off a ledge, I would die off of something so stupid, especially with the power characters. Look, it's a solid B. Maybe it's close between B and A. It's almost there. But for me, it just has too much that just drives me crazy, so I'm keeping it in B tier. However, that being said, the story is absolutely awesome. It has Metal Sonic in there, which is just amazing. Anyone knows me, I love Sonic CD, so having Metal Sonic be an awesome villain, it's just the best. The stage variety is pretty good too. It's got an amazing supersonic fight song. I mean, you really just can't go wrong in terms of the last story for this game. It's really good. But that being said, it's still a B tier for me, although ever so close to A. I don't know, maybe I'll have to play it again to change my mind, but I think it's good where it is. And the follow-up, I'm going to put Shadow the Hedgehog probably at... So Shadow the Hedgehog, I think it's a good game. It's solid. It's probably between a C and a B, I'd have to say, just kind of like Sonic Heroes is. The fact that you can essentially choose your path mid-game, and you can, do the hero tasks or the dark ones in the middle of the level, and that decides your outcome. I think it's a really, really cool idea. I mean, Sonic with guns, it's not something I really ever needed to see, but I don't know, I guess a lot of people liked it. No, it's good, it's alright, it's not bad, but it's not one of my favorites. Maybe I have to play this one again too, but I think between a B and a C. Also, I was never really a big fan of Devil Doom. I just thought that was just totally left field. Oh no. So... I know a lot of people like this one too. I know a lot of people like Unleashed. For me, it's the Werehog stuff. Daytime gameplay is really good. Sonic plays just fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the boost gameplay, but to me, Generations perfected it. Unleashed, it's not quite there yet. I remember thinking how the homing attack and the boost and everything, if they just changed the buttons a bit, it would have been perfect like Generations. But that being said, the Werehog levels, again, they just take way too long, upwards of 20, sometimes even 30 minutes on occasion. It's crazy. It's way too much. It's way too long. The game does a lot well, though. I really like the hub worlds. I like the different environments in the game. I think that's its strongest point. And they managed to capture that sense of speed as you're boosting through the levels. It's done well. If the game was more daytime stages, then yeah, it'd probably be A or even S. But I'm sorry, the Werehog just drags it down. It's a B. Oh boy. Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. It's a D. It's a D. I think it's better than Forces. Actually, upon further review, I'm going to put Sonic 06 in E. I'm going to put Forces in D. For the sole reason that Forces is actually playable, even though it's not that fun. Sonic 06 is barely playable. and anyone who's played the game knows this. Just like with Forces, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this has everything I just don't like about Sonic in here. It's got the extremely long levels, terrible gameplay, glitchy. However, that said, the atmosphere is really good. I love the environments. The graphics look really nice. The pre-rendered cutscenes are absolutely beautiful. It has a real Final Fantasy sort of vibe to it, which is really cool. The final boss is awesome. Having the 3 stories is really good too. I love the way the narrative works in this game because Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, they each feel like equal players. You even feel Shadow's story advancing from Shadow the Hedgehog. I think it's actually written very well. It seems a little bit convoluted on the surface, but I love the story. It's probably one of my favorite stories in a Sonic game, to be honest. That said, the fan project by Chaos X, P06, looks amazing. This game could literally go from an E to an A or an S even, who knows. Okay, so for the counterpart, we're actually going to put it up here in C. I was thinking of putting it in B, but I just think the control jank, it's just too much sometimes. And I love this game too. I think it's a lot of fun, but there are lots of moments of frustration. You're going to end up dying, you're going to fall into the water, you're going to fall off the cliff, and because you're always moving forward, it's going to be really tough to get used to. However, once you do, there is a really good game waiting here. It's got a lot of challenge, there's tons of missions to play through, the Arabian setting is just awesome, and it's something you don't see every day in a Sonic game. So I think overall it's really good. Again, probably like Shadow, it's between that B and C, I think. But I don't know, I guess just compared to the other ones, I think it's solidly average. Alright, so when I did my Sonic Colors video, I put it at S rank originally. I'm gonna put it there again, because it's nearly perfect. It is a really solid game. The gameplay, the level design, the music, everything is nearly perfect. The only thing I would say I don't like so much is that there are a lot of 2D sections in the game. When I first played the game, I really didn't like it, but when I played through again and I played Colors Ultimate, it didn't bother me as much. However, I do prefer more 3D sections, but that's just my own taste. The Wisps aren't bad either. I know a lot of people complain about these, but to me, once you get used to them, I mean, they're awesome. It mixes up the gameplay, adds a little bit of variety. I think it's good. I think overall Sonic Colors is like one of the quintessential Sonic titles. Alright, so here comes the controversial stuff. But yeah, okay. So this is, spoiler alert, it's my favorite Sonic game ever, Sonic Adventure. To me, it's just awesome. It's just so good. I love the Sonic gameplay in here so much. The Tails gameplay is fun too, even though it's just essentially retreading the Sonic gameplay. It's got the Knuckles treasure hunting stages. Even Amy's in here, and yes, the gameplay is slow, but she's around for 3 levels. It's in, it's out, it's done. It's quick and easy. Gamma stages are amazing. Even Big. People complain about Big and fishing. You can get the hang of fishing in 2 minutes. You can clear Big's story really quickly, and even then he still contributes to the story overall. I think it feels like an epic story. It's sprawling, you have all these characters. Sonic is literally fighting an ancient demon god. This hasn't happened. You've been fighting Eggman the whole time, and now you are fighting literally forces that he's not seen yet. It's just, there's something about it. It's so perfect. And I'm going to get hammered because people will tell me that the game aged like milk, glitchy, and blah blah blah. The other characters don't need to be there. And yeah, I can understand that point of view, for sure. But to me, this is something different. They tried to do something so over the top, so crazy. And to me, it works. It works. The level variety is amazing. Sonic controls so good in this game too. I know the spin dash is a little bit broken, but I mean, come on. Overall, it's so nice to play with. It feels good to play Sonic Adventure. It really does. And I mean, it introduced the Chow Garden too. How could you forget about that? Alright. Of course. So, yes, the adventure games are my favorite. Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2. If I had to kind of compare them, I'd put Sonic Adventure ahead of it in terms of my own personal preference, but 2 is right there with it. It streamlines Sonic Adventure's gameplay. It improves the Chow Garden. The story is definitely way more melodramatic, but it introduces Shadow and Rouge. You get the driving sections, the kart mini games. You get things like boss rushes and whatnot, which are a lot of fun. They're good features. And you even have the ranking system here too, for the first time. It builds off Sonic Adventure in all the right ways. I guess where I'd criticize it is the variety is a little bit lacking sometimes. There's a lot of colony levels, a lot of desert levels, a lot of sort of city levels. I don't know. I think that's the one thing about the game that when I kind of go back, I like the variety and adventure more in terms of the level design. But that's just me personally. It's still a really good game. Again, amazing final boss, great music. So for me, 1 and 2, easy S tiers, no question. Sonic Frontiers, it's gonna go. No. Honestly, I thought about this one. I was gonna put it in like S or A originally. Actually, I'll put it up here. I'll put it in B. D's not bad. It's about an 80 or whatever percent, right? I mean, it's good. Sonic controls amazing in the game. I love the way Sonic plays. He's fast, fluid. The only thing I hate about him is the jumping. The jumping drives me crazy. It's that stiff, no momentum jumping. I just absolutely hate that. It is the worst. Aside from that, everything else is really, really, really good. The open zone gameplay is a lot of fun. I loved going between each little area and picking up medals and whatnot. I really liked the story too. I thought the story was done nicely. It's written very well. And I liked how it delved deeper into the relationships between Sonic's main cast. Even Eggman got some character development, which I did not see coming, to be honest, and it was very strange seeing it at first, but I thought, again, it was really well done. So why isn't it a higher rank? Well, again, similar to things like Forces, you got the cyberspace levels, which are fun. They have amazing music, but again, we've already seen Sky Sanctuary, we've seen Green Hill, we've seen Chemical Plant a dozen times. Did we have to keep getting these level designs over and over and over again? And I know people will say, well, no, there's things like Skyrail in the game or Green Forest, and it's like, look, I know, I understand that there's different level layouts in the game. They really couldn't have done anything else. They couldn't have come up with a whole different design for these cyberspace levels. I mean, it feels confusing at times. But all in all, I enjoyed it. The Titan fights were amazing. Come on, you get to play Super Sonic in the beginning of the game. It's just pure epicness. The soundtrack accentuates everything so nicely. That last boss fight, I just don't know what they were thinking with that one. It felt strange. It felt like out of place in a way. I don't know. I think they should have made it much more cinematic, more epic. It felt not flat, but kind of flat in a way. I mean, sure, you get the quick time events and whatever, but this thing is supposed to be like the big bad, the big villain, and you do like a shmup style boss fight. I don't know. I think it's pretty strange, to be honest. The thing about Frontiers is there are at least 5 points I could think of that if they improved it, it would be from a B to an S almost immediately. But I'm planning on making a video about those, so if you want to check that out, please stay tuned. And yeah, we'll end here. So guys, what do you think? This is it. This is my tier list. People are probably going to call me out for how terrible my choices are, and I look forward to having my mind changed even and kind of looking at these games in a different way. But this is kind of where it stands right now. Again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll check you in the next one. Check out GPX Japan as well for more Sonic Frontiers videos. See you again next time. Take care.